Moving along to probably an even more important part of chord playing on guitar is bar chords. The beauty of bar chords, of course, is that they're movable the same as power chords, and the names of the power chords and the bar chords, the positions are the same. In other words, that's a G power chord and that's a G major bar chord, but I'm using all 6 strings rather than just the bottom 2. So we have the good old E chord down here, which I'm sure you've learned, and then we move to an F, to a G, to an A, to a B, to a C, to a D, to an E. So if you've learned your power chords, you'll notice that the bar chords are the same position wise, it's just that you're using all 6 strings. But here's the good thing about the bar chords is that if I take that little finger off, notice if you look at my 2 fingers here, that's actually that power chord that we talked about. But by taking that finger off and playing 6 strings, I now get an A minor chord. And sometimes you'll notice in music you might have a chord progression like, say, the song One Way, or there's literally thousands of them, that goes B, and then it goes to a G sharp minor. So you've got to be able to get that minor, and then to an F sharp major, and then to an E. So when you want that minor sound in the tonality of what's happening, you've always got it there. Okay, if we replace that second finger and then lift our little finger up, that gives us a 7th chord. So that would be A7. So that would be A major, played like that. Notice it's an E-shaped chord here with the bar right across. Now if you've not played bar chords before, this can maybe panic you a bit, but you'll find that if you persevere with the bar, it's like anything, it's doable. You just got to keep doing it until your hand's not used to it. But if you keep doing it, it'll come. Okay, so I'm barring across all 6 strings, playing an E shape there. That's an A major bar chord. Lift the second finger, that becomes A minor. Put the second finger back down and lift the little finger, that becomes A7. Okay, so if I had to play a chord sequence that went C major to G major to D major to A minor, they're all just right there. But then, horror of horrors, that could all be played in 7ths, so C 7th, G 7th, D7, A7. And even more interesting might be if you played a chord progression that changed from major and minor to the 7th. So it may go G major up to C major to A minor to D7. And I'm sure you've heard old doo-wop, what they call doo-wop stuff from the 50s, which uses that old progression, and there's literally millions of songs that have been written using that progression. The progression is used because it sounds good, and at the time it was very popular. Okay, moving down on to our next bar chord shape. If we move down to the 5th and 4th strings, what I'm going to do is bar across all 5 strings, and then with this finger here I'm barring on the 4th, 3rd and 2nd string. Okay, now that moves or is positioned the same as our power chord. So where this was a D power chord on the 5th string, this is a D major bar chord. Okay, so obviously what you're going to need to do is learn these notes on your 6th string and your 5th string. If you haven't already done it, learn where they are. Okay, and then learn your shape. So you have major, minor. Notice the minor shape is like your A minor chord down here. Switch to these fingers, slide it up, bar across, D minor, and then lift that finger and drop the little finger down to the 2nd string, and you have D7. Okay, now there's a lot of chords there to learn, but you'll find that you can never really have too much information or too many tools. So if I had to play a chord progression, the same one that we did before, where we went G up to C. Now I could use that C here, but I could also just grab that C. And then if I go to an A minor, use that A minor and then switch to the D7. So it gives you options rather than have to go like this with your hand all the time. Sometimes you may want to do that for effect, but it's very handy to be able to keep your chords close together and voice close together. Okay, so that about does it with bar chords. Just a quick reiterating over all of that. Learn your notes here. You've got F, F sharp G, G sharp A sharp B, C, C sharp D, D sharp E, flats on the way down, E, E flat D, D flat C, B, B flat A flat G, G flat F, open E. Then on your second string you have open A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, and then A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, and then your sharps and flats in between, the same as on here. And then you have your major shape. If you learn all those, you have 12 chords. If you learn the minor shape, you have 24 chords. If you learn the 7th shape, you now have 36 chords. And if you do the same with this shape here of major, minor and 7th, what's that? 72 chords, which is a lot to pull out of something. It's pretty simple. But yeah, there's a lot of information, there's lots of chords.